Hey guys, today we're going to be discussing about how recursion works in JavaScript. Um, I know that this is a very delicate subject, let's say, because people that are using recursion, they can do most of the stuff in a repetitive way, anyways. So I'll just try to go over briefly over the pros and cons, and we're going to be working with some examples too of how to do stuff in a recursive way and also how to do stuff in a repetitive way. So first of all, I'm gonna go over the pros that for this of using recursion in your applications. So in most of the time, recursion can just add more clarity to your code, and it reduces basically the time that you need to write and also debug the code, and also to for readability too. I mean, it's going to be much more simpler for you to understand stuff in there than probably in a repetitive way. So also another thing can reduce the time complexity too of how to write stuff and how to manage stuff in your code. Yeah. And also it's somehow better for the tree traversal. So if you're traversing a tree, a node tree, you it's gonna be much better to do that using the recursion than the classical for loop or I don't know, repetitive way. In the same time, there are a few cons that probably some of you already know that recursion is it uses loads of memory, and apart from that, because it uses loads of memory, it can also be slow for some of the situation in some of the situations, and also when you're doing some complex jobs and complex stuff around that. Also, most of the situations, as we're gonna go through one of the examples too, you're gonna see that the stuff that you were trying to achieve could have been done better in a for loop or in any loop, any JavaScript loop. So we are gonna go over an example, and you're gonna see what I'm talking about. So we're gonna try to write a recursive function. Let's say run. Yeah. You're gonna see on the right hand side the the output. So we're gonna have only one parameter, which is data, and here we are gonna write an early return here, which is we're gonna say like data length triple equals 20. Okay, then we're gonna return data. So this is our early return. That's how you can call it in a function. And here we're gonna do the logic, what this run function should do, or what we should do with this array, how we are gonna populate this data array. So here we're gonna just push some elements in here. We're gonna just do a math random, and also we're gonna do a to fixed 3. So this is gonna turn it into a string, and after that we're gonna just return run data. This is the recursive stuff, yeah, recursiveness. Okay, so here this is where it happens, yeah. When we're calling this function, we're basically calling run again from within run, yeah. So this is when the first iteration hits, yeah, we're gonna initially call run, yeah, with an empty array, and when the first iteration hits, it's gonna look at the array. It's gonna say, okay, the length is not 20, yeah. Then we're gonna move on. We're gonna do a push. So we're gonna push the first element, yeah, and after that call run again. So we're gonna basically call run itself until we're gonna meet this condition. So that's what it basically does. This is um, this is very simply explained. I mean, it's very intuitive if you're looking at it, but imagine that this can happen in larger applications and also in larger payloads of data, and also in more iteration than 20, yeah, because right now we're just displaying 20 results here, and that's it pretty much. We are not doing I don't know, millions of invocations for this. As I said previously, we could have done this in a repetitive way. As you all know, we could have done this uh, during an execution of a for loop, or I don't know, a while loop, or a do while loop, or a for each, or I don't know, even a map. You can do this in so many ways. I mean, there are so many ways of doing this. So we're just gonna go through one of the ways. So we're gonna leave this here, yeah, and we're gonna write again this run function, yeah, and we're gonna do this in a repetitive way, yeah. So let's try to write in here the same array data, and we're gonna do a do while loop. These are not so oftenly used, that's why I chose to do this for this example. So we're gonna just copy exactly what we have here. We're gonna, in this do condition, we're gonna execute the push, and in a while we're gonna do exactly what the condition, what's the condition that we have here, yeah. We're just gonna do it a bit different. Length less or equal than with 20, yeah, and after that we're gonna of course return data, yeah, and after that we're gonna copy this and we're gonna do this. So as you can see, it's exactly the same. You don't have to do anything. I mean, apart from that, it's exactly the same output, but in just in a repetitive way, yeah. So and you can see that you can achieve the same thing, but with a bit of more code. Let's say I would say more lines, or than you added here. This could have been done in a one line, and with 3 lines you could have achieved this, and with this one you could have done it in more than one line, more than 3 lines. As you can see, it's like more likely 5 lines or something like that, but that's not the important stuff. It doesn't really matter how many lines you have in this scenario. But when you have a more complex code and in a more complex situation, then this is gonna play a role here. So you just have to choose wisely in that situation. So yeah, that being said, I think I've tried to cover this scenario and this example, and how it basically works. Hopefully it has helped you in some way to understand how recursion works and how it can work in JavaScript. So I guess that's it. I'll see you next time.